Hi everybody. We're going to start, hope you're having a good day. We're going to start today with a practice quiz. The next time we are together, we will be doing a quiz over 5.5 and 5.6. You will not be using your colored sheet. You won't need it. 5.5 and 5.6, it's all about law of sines, law of cosines, and area. So here we go. Here's our review. First problem on the review says solve this triangle. Now, solving the triangle means find everything that's missing, including angle S. Now, that's easy. We know the angles of the triangle have to add up to 180. So this is a 65-degree angle. So there's angle S. So there will be blanks on your quiz. Big S is the angle, so that's a 65 degrees. Now, when you look at this problem, you should see that. That is the law of sines set up. So sine 53 over 14 equals sine 62 over h. And I got to do the other one also. So sine 53 over 14 equals sine 65 over s. It doesn't matter which one you do first, you got to do them both. So cross multiplying, h sine 53 equals 14 sine 62, and h equals 14 sine 62 divided by sine 53. I am solving for h, so I must divide by sine 53 to get h equals. So then I can go to my calculator, 14 sine 62 close parentheses divided by sine 53, 15.48. So that's h, 15.48. And then exactly the same thing here. S sine 53 equals 14 sine 65. I'm solving for S, so I have to divide again by sine 53. So 14 sine 65 over sine 53. So 14 sine 65 divided by sine 53, and side S is 15.89. And there you go. The triangle is solved. So that's the first, that's the first problem we're practicing. There's 5. That's the first one. Solving the triangle. Okay, what's next? Well, next, we're going to figure out how many triangles are possible. All right, so here we go. Here's a triangle. All right, there's your triangle. How many triangles are possible? Well, listen, you guys. When you look at this, you should see exactly what you saw in the last problem. You should see this right here. So sine 63 over 15 equals sine k over 14. So 15 sine k equals 14 sine 63. Now, here's your variable. So sine K equals 14 sine 63 over 15. You can't split that up. Just divide by 15. To get K by itself, the only way to do it is the second sign. Remember, if you are looking to find an angle, which is exactly what you're doing, you're trying to find an angle, you must do the inverse function. Second sine, second cosine. All right. So what have we got there? Second sine, 14 sine 63 divided by 15. Whoa, wait a second. Let me try that again. Second sine. All right, I got 56.26. I typed it in there on the first time. So I got 56.26 for my angle K. Since I messed it up the first time, I'm gonna try it one more time. Second sine, 14 sine 63, close parentheses, divided by 15. Yep, 56.26. Now that means that I have at least one answer. So now I'm gonna check to see if I have another answer. If I have another one, the other angle K will be 180 minus the first one. So it would be 123.74. If there is a second angle, it is always 180 minus the first one. Well, wait a second. Can I have a 63 and a 123 in the same triangle? Nope, it's too big. So that doesn't work. How many triangles are possible? One. So the answer to the question is one triangle possible. Remember, you could have two. If this had been, let's say 103, then I could have, that works. I could have two. Or I could have none, which happens when you type in this and get an error message. That would mean none. Okay. All right, so that's two problems. Now we're ready for the third one. Remember, you can practice these problems as many times as you want. You can watch this video as many times as you want. But no colored sheet for the quiz. You will have a calculator, obviously. All right, these directions say solve for C. Over here, C, side C, solve for C. So we're not solving the whole triangle this time, like we did in the beginning. Now we're just finding one side. Okay? So how do we find that side? Well, we're either going to use the law of sines or the law of cosines. I hope at this point you realize the law of sines isn't going to work because I do not have that set of data, right? So C squared equals 10 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times 10 times 14 times the cosine of 53. Remember, whatever angle you have, that cosine goes out here, and his side goes over here. And then in the middle is side squared plus side squared minus 2 side. There you go, that's it. I'm gonna type it right in, see what happens. Don't forget to square root it. When you type all that in and you get a number, don't forget to either square root that number or just do raised to the 0.5 power. And that tells you that side C is 11.29. All right, next, got an area problem. So we got a triangle that looks like this. And we're going to find the area of it. Now, there's always more than one way to do stuff, but when I look at this, I see all three sides, so I immediately think of Hero's formula. To use Hero's formula, you need to first find your perimeter. So our perimeter, you can use a calculator to help you add them all up. Looks like the perimeter is 52. Then take half of it, and that gives you your semi-perimeter. So 26. Then to find your area, it's a big radical, and you're going to take, I'll move it on here, make sure it's on the video. You're going to take the semi-perimeter, which is 26. Always start with the semi-perimeter. And then you'll do 26 minus each side. So 26 minus 20 is 6. 26 minus 14 is 12. And 26 minus 18 is 8. You will have a calculator to help you with any arithmetic, so don't worry about that. And then I just multiply it all up and take the square root. So 26 times 6 times 12 times 8, and I square root it, 122.38 is the area of the triangle. All right, and then one more problem on the practice quiz. And I think you've come to realize that the quiz is going to look like the practice quiz, right? So this is the kind of stuff you need to be able to do. So we have this triangle, and the directions say find the area. Find the area. Okay, so here we go. To find the area of that triangle, we're going to do what? Well, I hope you noticed we have two sides and an included angle. So the area will be 1/2 side times sine of included angle. 1/2 side times sine of included angle. And that's all you have to show, kids. There's really nothing else to do except type it in. And I got 47.84. So the area of that one is 47.84. And that is it for the practice quiz. Okay? So now what we're going to do is do a little bit of our practice test number 2, because that will even help us get ready for the quiz also. Has the same kind of questions on it. So if you would get out practice test number 2. We're going to work through it. All right, So practice test number 2. Here we go. First problem says simplify this. And then simplify this. Now these problems are not on your quiz. You already had a quiz over this. So these are not on this quiz, but they will be on the test. So we need to keep practicing them. Okay, so cosecant. All right. By now we know what cosecant is. Cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. So this is 1 over sine x divided by secant, which is the reciprocal of the cosine. So we have a giant fraction now, 1 over sine over 1 over cosine. Now remember, when you divide by fractions, you actually multiply by the reciprocal. So dividing by 1 over cosine is the same as multiplying by cosine over 1. So now nothing cancels, but I have cosine over sine, which we know is cotangent. So there it is, that's cotangent. Now, this one isn't quite as straightforward. Cosine squared is the same as 1 minus sine squared. Don't look at me like, how do you know that? Kids, we've talked about it. We've written it on our colored sheets. We've used it before. Cosine squared is the same as 1 minus sine squared, and sine squared is the same as 1 minus cosine squared. So I'm going to change that cosine squared into 1 minus sine squared. Now I have the difference of squares. This factors into 1 minus sine and 1 plus sine. And the denominator is 1 minus sine. Now remember, at this stage of the game, there's nothing to cancel because you can't cancel parts. All you can cancel is whole parentheses. There they go. Those cancel. They are identical. These are not identical. And you cannot cancel part of them because of the minuses. If it was all multiplication, it'd be okay. But it's got a subtraction in it. So no canceling at this point, but after you factor, then you can cancel, and your answer is 1 plus sine. So that one simplifies down to 1 plus sine. Now the next one looks very similar to a problem we just did. This is practice test number 2, problem number 2A. It says solve the following triangle. Exactly what's on your quiz. Solve the following triangle. So that means find everything you don't already know. They're listed there for you. So one thing you don't know is that angle, but you can find it real easily. Because the angles of a triangle have to add up to 180. And as soon as I wrote that 49 down, my beady little eyes saw this. Which tells me this is going to be a law of sines problem. So sine 49 over 10 equals sine 58 over A, or sine 49 over 10 equals sine 73 over b. And I said or, but it's not really an or, because you got to do both. The order you do them doesn't matter, but you have to do both. So cross multiply. A sine 49 equals 10 sine 58. You're solving for A, so divide by sine 49. You want your variable by itself. So A equals 10 sine 58 over sine 49. Straight type it in, you guys. That's A. That isn't sine A, that's A. So just type it in. 10 sine 58 divided by sine 49. That's side A, so side A is 11.24. Now repeat. B sine 49 equals 10 sine 73. Again, we're solving for B. So divide by sine 49. You always want your variable by itself. Now it is. Sine 73 divided by sine 49. I got 12.67. Done. We filled in all the blanks. You're done when you filled in all of the blanks. All right, let's look at problem B. Problem B, same direction, solve the triangle. Now I know what some of you are thinking when you look at this triangle. You are thinking, oh my gosh, the area is 1/2 side, side, sine, and you're right, but that isn't the question. We're not finding the area. We're finding side E, angle D, and angle F. We're finding the missing parts of the triangle. Okay, so what do you think? We cannot use the law of sines. We don't have a pair. Can't do it. So we're going to have to use our law of cosines. So we got cosine 53, and on this end, I'll have e squared. And then in the middle, I'll have 16 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 16 times 10 times the cosine of 53. Easy, type it in. This is going to be side E. So 16 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 16 times 10 times cosine 53 equals, and then remember, that's e squared, so I'm going to square root it, and I got 12.78. So side E is 12.78. Everybody okay with that? All right, so now I'm going to find D. Now I'm going to find angle D. And to find angle D, now I can use my law of sines. Would you agree? So here we go. Sine 53 is to 12.78, as sine D is to 10. Because I now have a pair, I can use my law of sines. So 12.78 sine D equals 10 sine 53. Then I'll divide. So sine D equals 10 sine 53 divided by 12.78. Now this is different than what I had a minute ago that I just erased. This is different because this doesn't say D equals. This says sine D equals. The only way to get it to say D equals is to second sign. That is the only way. I have to second sign to break that apart and get D by itself. So second sign 10 sine 53 over 12.78. Second sign 10 sine 53 divided by 12.78. I got 38.68. Oops. 38.68. And then angle F is just 180 minus 38.68 and 53. So it's 88.32. Alrighty. Now we've got another one that's going to be on your quiz. How many triangles are possible? So here we go. How many triangles are possible? We have a 73, a 9, a 6, CHS. And then we have an 18, a 16, and a 52. And then we have a 75, an 8, and a 10. Now, these three problems are done exactly the same way. The setup is exactly the same. The way you type it in is exactly the same. We just have to wait and see what happens after we type it in. So sine 73 over 6 equals sine S over 9. I was messy there. Is that a 9? Yeah. So 6 sine S equals 9 sine 73. And again, this is my variable. So I must divide by 6 only. So sine S equals 9 sine 73 over 6. So S equals second sine that fraction, 9 sine 73 over 6. So here we go. Second sine 9 sine 73, close parentheses, divided by 6 equals, oh no! How many triangles are possible? 0. We got an error message. There are no triangles possible with that given information because when I typed this in, I got error. Okay, so now I'm going to do it all over again. The exact same thing. Sine 52 over 16 equals sine S over 18. The exact same setup, you guys. Everything is the same. So 16 sine S, well, except the numbers, equals 18 sine 52. So sine S equals 18 sine 52 divided by 16. Again, this is my variable, so I'm dividing by 16. And then S equals second sine 18 sine 52. If your job is to find an angle, you are going to second sine or second cosine, depending. Second sine 18 sine 52 divided by 16. Whoop, I got an answer this time. I got 62.44. Now, what does that mean? That means I'm going to have at least one, maybe two. Okay? So now I'm going to see if there's another one. I'm going to see if there's a second one. So 52, 18, 16. If there is a second one, that angle is going to be 180 minus the first one, which is 117.56. Now, you guys, can you have a triangle with 117.56 and 52? Is that okay? It sure is, because these two add up to less than 180. So they're good to go. So this problem has two solutions. The one with a 62 angle and the one with a 117 angle. Same thing, here we go. Sine 75 over 10 equals sine S over 8. I know you probably think this is boring because this is the third time we've done this, but that's how you do it. It's exactly how you do it. So 10 sine S equals 8 sine 75. So again, we're solving for sine S. So we're going to divide by 10. Come down here. So sine S equals 8 sine 75 over 10. So S equals second sine 8 sine 75 over 10. All right, so I'm going to type it in, see what happens. I got an answer. I got 50.60. So now I have to check to see if a second answer will work. So this is 75, this was 8, this was 10. And my second angle, if I have one, is 129.4. The second angle is always 180 minus the first one. Is it okay to have a 75 and a 129 in the same triangle? No. So this one has one solution. One solution. Okay, we're gonna do one more page. One more page. We're gonna find the area of these triangles because this is also on your quiz. Find the area of the triangles. So when you look at your triangle, there are a couple of things that you want to look at. So for the first one, for example, you are given all three sides. And because you know all three sides, you automatically know the perimeter. The perimeter in this triangle is 18, which means the semi-perimeter is 9. If you have all three sides, you should immediately think perimeter and hero. The perimeter is 18. We do not use 18. We use 9. So the area is the square root of 9, and then 9 minus 5, 9 minus 6, and 9 minus 7. Multiply them all together. Take the square root. The answer is 14.70. The area of that triangle is 14.70. So one thing you want to look at when somebody says find the area, one thing you want to look at is, do I know the perimeter? Because if you know the perimeter, you're going to use hero. The next thing you want to look at is a problem like C. Because in problem C, you have two sides and the included angle. This is C, problem C, 4C. If you have two sides and the included angle, then you just jump right in and say the area is 1/2 side times sine of included angle. There is nothing to show, there's nothing to do except boom, 0.5 times 11 times 10 times sine 53 equals, and that area is 43.92. So when you look at your area problems, when somebody says, hey, find the area, you're going to check to see if you know the perimeter. If you know the perimeter, then just jump in and do hero. You're also going to check to see if you have two sides and the included angle. If so, you're just going to jump in 1/2 side, sine. But then you're going to have a problem like B. And B does not have what I need. Because in order to do hero, I need all three sides. And in order to do 1/2 side, sine, I need two sides. And in problem B, I only have one side. So the first thing I'm going to do is find another side. I'm going to find another side. And I'm going to find it using either the law of sines or cosines. So I'm going to check to see here if I have a pair. Now this is a little deceptive. Remember, you actually have angle H. Angle H is 180 minus 63 and 72. So it's 45. So you actually do have a pair there. You have the H's. So sine 45 over 15 equals, pick it. It makes 0 difference. Pick it. Sine 72 over S. You could also do sine 63 over C. Doesn't make a difference. Just pick one and do it. So we've done about a zillion of these today. So here we go. S sine 45 equals 15 sine 72. Now you're solving for S. So you're going to divide by sine 45. So S equals 15 sine 72 divided by sine 45. So you can figure out side S. 15 15 sine 72, close parentheses, divided by sine 45. I got 20.17. Now, be careful. That's not the answer. The answer is the area. But now that you have found side S, now you can do the area. Area is 1/2 side times sine of included angle. Now, I know I keep harping on this, but you need to remember that if these are the sides you're using right here, then that's the angle you have to use. If you found C, when I found S, if you found C, then you would use sine 52 or 72. Okay? You got to use the angle that's between your sides. So my area is 0.5 times 20.17 times 15 times sine 63. I got 134.79. Okay? All right. Yep, I think this video is long enough. So we'll talk about the paper next time. Next time I see you, I put it in Schoology, so feel free to look at it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So you can read about your next essay. And next time I see you, we will have a quiz that's like the practice quiz that we did at the beginning. So, hope you had a great day or are having a great day, and I will see you soon.